Look at our roster and tell me if you're not also feeling a chill down your spine about what's happening behind the scenes in Foxborough. Our defense has everything to be one of the most feared in the NFL. The center of the defensive line is solid. The secondary is absurdly talented with Christian Gonzalez flying high. The arrival of heavyweight veterans and promising young players covering every inch of the secondary. Our starting linebackers handled the job with incredible ease. But if you pull back the curtain and look closely at the edges of our front line, you'll notice a silent and dangerous hole that could ruin the entire season plan if not addressed immediately. Our edge rusher rotation today is, without a doubt, the biggest and most alarming weakness of the entire New England Patriots team. Something isn't clicking. While the fans celebrate the big names in other positions, the coaching staff led by Mike Vrabel faces a real headache in training. Draymond Jones and Harold Landry are our mainstays for pressuring opposing quarterbacks, but Landry has faced serious physical limitations and restrictions in recent training. To worsen the uncertainty, Gabe Atkins remains sidelined, having not signed his contract and not appearing on the field, creating an air of mystery and concern. With Quantavius Hutchkins mired in off-field issues and complex legal matters, the periphery of our defense has become a depleted puzzle. There's a clear sense of urgency in the air, and few are realizing the magnitude of the risk. We are just one injury away from seeing the entire defensive system crumble due to a lack of pressure on the edges. The signs that the front office and coaching staff needed to activate the emergency plan are scattered throughout the Foxborough complex during the mandatory minicamp. When you look at the replays on the main field, you notice that the players who should be leading the rotation are simply not there or are watching from afar in civilian clothes. This forced absence opened up space for a desperate move to evaluate athletes who weren't even on our radar a few weeks ago. That's exactly where the story starts to get intriguing, and the signs of a frantic search for answers become evident to those who follow the practices daily. The Patriots have always had a historic and almost sacred tradition with undrafted players, the famous UDFAs. To give you an exact idea of the size of this culture in New England, in 21 of the last 23 seasons, at least one undrafted free agent managed to defy expectations and secure a final spot on the 53-man roster that starts the regular season. It's an impressive mark that shows how our franchise knows how to sift through talent from the mud. And the current signs indicate that history is about to repeat itself out of pure tactical necessity. Given the disappearance of our key players and Hutchkins' legal troubles, the coaching staff opened the door for last-minute tests. Before we move on to the name that's leaving everyone speechless, leave a like on this video and comment below. Would you prefer to see the Patriots betting on a young underdog, or does the management need to bring in a seasoned veteran ASAP? Your participation greatly helps our community of passionate fans grow on YouTube. The evidence that we have a completely unpredictable and intense competition for the last edge rusher spot has gained names and surnames in the last few days of intense training. The biggest surprise of the entire minicamp goes by the name of Xavier Holmes, a defensive player from James Madison University. The most bizarre thing about this whole situation is that Holmes wasn't even signed immediately after the NFL draft like most rookies. He was invited to the Foxborough complex only for a quick trial period, a short-term evaluation to fill the practice roster. But the kid simply shocked the coaching staff. The evidence on the field was so overwhelming during tactical drills that the front office had no choice but to sign an official contract with him immediately to avoid losing him. Mike Vrabel was so impressed with the young man's performance that, in press conferences, he has already changed the way he refers to the athlete, intimately calling him X instead of Xavier. For a demanding and seasoned coach like Vrabel to do that, the impact must have been gigantic. Holmes played at JMU precisely during the period when the university transitioned from FCS to FBS, meaning he faced the most physical and skilled defenses in college football and wasn't intimidated. He accumulated 30 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, and 6 sacks last season, in addition to recording over 37 quarterback pressures. Scout reports show he's taking advantage of every replay left over from injured starters to prove he deserves a permanent place in New England. If Xavier Holmes is crushing it in tactical drills and earning rave reviews from the coaching staff, why on earth did he slip past all the franchises in the draft and not get picked by anyone? Here's the hidden detail that few people have analyzed in depth. When you pull up the player's athletic test spreadsheet, the famous RAS, Relative Athletic Score, the result is shockingly low. Holmes didn't score well on pure speed and agility tests, registering a disappointing 4.95 in the vertical jump, and slow times in short sprints. Physically, he has a height and weight considered solid for the edge rusher position in the NFL, but lab metrics say he doesn't have the elite athleticism needed to survive against the league's professional tackles. He's the classic player that computers and algorithms reject immediately before the draft. However, the hidden detail that Mike Vrabel and our coordinators noticed is that Holmes' functional performance on the field completely ignores the lab numbers. American football isn't played on a running track. While traditional scouts looked at the poor timing, the Patriots looked at the game tape and saw an athlete with a refined instinct for chasing the quarterback, heavy hands on the blocks, and an absurd ability to correct mistakes in real time after receiving instructions from the coaching staff. He compensates for a lack of elite speed with relentless effort on every snap, something that can't be measured in combined statistics. He plays with his heart on his sleeve. The explanation for Mike Vrabel's optimism regarding our current group of pass rushers, despite all the fans' concerns, lies in an internal development plan being quietly implemented. The The coach was very clear in saying that he is happy with the players he has and explained why he isn't desperate in the free agent market. Besides monitoring Elijah Ponder's development and Jesse Lucata's reintegration into the main rotation, there's a second key piece resurfacing in the story: Braden Swinson. Originally drafted by New England from LSU, Swinson possesses the perfect physique the franchise loves to contain the running game and attack the passing lanes from the edges. But last year, he suffered the reality check of the NFL, failing to secure a spot on the 53-man main roster and spending the entire season hidden in the practice squad, functioning almost like an athlete in a medical and technical transition year. The explanation for the leap in quality in our unit now is that Swinson returned to this year's minicamp transformed, with a totally focused mindset and in impeccable physical shape. He finally understood the level of demand in professional football. With the temporary absence of the starters and the setbacks in the front line, Swinson and Xavier Holmes are sharing the spotlight and showing that the depth of our squad can come from where no one expected. Vrabel knows that creating this fierce competition between young players hungry for space is the perfect mechanism to raise the technical level of Foxborough without spending millions of dollars. The potential impact of this defensive rotation shift could dictate the success or failure of the New England Patriots in the competitive AFC East division. Realistically, the coaching staff should retain 5 edge rushers on the final roster. With Draymond Jones, Harold Landry, Elijah Ponder, and second-round rookie Gabe Atkins practically guaranteed, only one spot remains available on the 53-man main roster. The fight for that last spot will be a real battle in training camp between Xavier Holmes, Braden Swinson, Chad Muma, and Quantavious Hutchkins. If Holmes or Swinson confirm this impressive performance in preseason games, the immediate impact will be the front office's decision to completely close the door on signing expensive veteran free agents like Joey Bosa or Cam Jordan, saving precious salary cap space for future midseason trades. On the other hand, the most likely and safest trend for the team's long-term future is that Holmes will end up securing a solid spot on our practice squad to continue being honed by the defensive system, following exactly the steps Swinson took last year before exploding in current training camps. Regardless of who wins this battle on the field, the Patriots show that their DNA of finding homegrown and competitive solutions remains alive, proving that the team's rebuilding is being done on solid, intelligent foundations focused on developing resilient athletes. This intense behind-the-scenes competition shows that the atmosphere in Foxborough is sizzling and that no player can afford to be complacent if they want to wear our jersey in the regular season. Every practice, every play simulation, and every snap in the preseason will carry immense weight for the future of our defensive line. The coaching staff is watching every detail, and the fans can barely contain their excitement to see these promising players in action with full protections at training camp. If you want to keep up with every behind-the-scenes update from the Patriots, complete tactical analyses, and real-time market movements, don't waste any time. Subscribe to the channel now, activate the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos, and share this content with your friends who live and breathe the New England Patriots every day of the year. Let's follow this journey step by step. And to conclude our discussion today on a high note, I want to leave you with a direct question to reflect on and share your honest answer in our comments section. Do you believe that Xavier Holmes and Braden Swinson are sufficient solutions to address our problems on the defensive line? Or is the Patriots management making a serious mistake by not signing an elite veteran edge rusher to ensure the security of our season? Share your honest opinion below, and let's discuss the future of the New England Patriots.